to oppose Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Now here's why. I want a president who reveres the Constitution, who does not threaten but wants to protect and guide our great democracy, who believes in the rule of law and the peaceful transfer of power, who will fight for a woman's right to choose, and who wants to create a middle-class economy that will serve all our citizens. There is only one candidate in this election who holds those principles.
Bruce Springsteen just sent a shockwave through the political scene, and let's just say Trump and Melania are definitely not thrilled. Known for letting his music do most of the talking, the boss stepped into the spotlight in a way no one saw coming, and this time he didn't hold anything back. His message was loud and clear, cutting straight through the noise, and it's already sparking conversations across the country. So what did he say that's causing such a stir, and why is it hitting a nerve with Trump? Let's dive in.
I didn't need little Bruce Springsteen and all of these.
He was implying that other people need to have all that help. He doesn't need that. And are you surprised that he's trash-talking you after all this time?
For years, Bruce Springsteen has been the voice of the working class, telling the stories of everyday Americans through his music. But this time, he wasn't just singing. He was speaking out, loud and clear. And his target, Donald Trump. Springsteen didn't just throw a quick jab. He went all in, calling out what he described as a long-running con on hardworking Americans. In his eyes, Trump hasn't been fighting for the working class. He's been fooling them, and Bruce made sure everyone knew exactly where he stood.
Is the most dangerous candidate for president in my lifetime. His disdain for the sanctity of our Constitution, the sanctity of democracy, the sanctity of the rule of law, and the sanctity of the peaceful transfer of power should disqualify him from the office of president ever again. He doesn't understand the meaning of this country, its history, or what it means to be deeply American.
So what finally pushed Bruce Springsteen to speak up like this? He's watched Trump claim to be a champion of the working class while living in over-the-top luxury. He's seen promise after promise made and then broken. And now, with another election ramping up, Bruce decided he couldn't stay quiet any longer. He had to call it out. Trump, of course, didn't take it well. The backlash has already begun, and if history tells us anything, it's only going to get messier. But what exactly did Bruce say that struck such a nerve? Stick around, because this one's about to get personal. Bruce Springsteen and Donald Trump couldn't be more different. One grew up in a tough New Jersey town, writing songs about factory workers, small town struggles, and the everyday fight to get by. The other was born into extreme wealth, raised in a Manhattan penthouse, and built his image on skyscrapers and reality TV. Yet somehow, Trump managed to convince millions of hardworking Americans that he was on their side, that he understood their struggles. Springsteen never believed it. He spent decades singing about the people politicians often ignore. And when Trump came along, calling himself the savior of the working class, Bruce wasn't fooled. He saw through the act from day one, and now he's making sure everyone else does too.
To oppose Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Now here's why. I want a president who reveres the Constitution, who does not threaten but wants to protect and guide our great democracy, who believes in the rule of law and the peaceful transfer of power, who will fight for a woman's right to choose, and who wants to create a middle-class economy that will serve all our citizens. There is only one candidate in this election who holds those principles.
This isn't the first time Bruce Springsteen has taken aim at Trump. Back in 2016, he warned that Trump was nothing more than a con artist. By 2019, he was predicting a reckoning for the country because of Trump's endless lies. And now, with Trump gearing up for another White House run, Bruce is speaking out again, louder than ever. Trump, of course, has clapped back before, brushing Springsteen off as boring and overrated. But here's the thing, Bruce doesn't need Twitter tantrums or petty insults. His voice carries weight in a way that cheap name-calling name-calling never could. And this time, Trump might not be able to just shrug it off. Springsteen didn't hold back. He didn't just criticize Trump, he tore into him with the force of a hurricane. He called Trump a dangerous narcissist willing to take down democracy itself just to save his own skin. But he didn't stop there. Bruce also blasted Trump's so-called love for the working class, calling it nothing but a con job. He pointed out that Trump feeds struggling Americans empty promises while living a life completely disconnected from the reality they face every day. And just like that, the fire was lit. It didn't take long for the backlash to begin. Trump supporters immediately called for a boycott of Springsteen's music, a hilarious attempt considering Bruce has been packing stadiums for decades. Trump himself was reportedly furious, feeling personally betrayed that yet another high-profile figure refused to fall in line. Meanwhile, social media erupted. Hashtags, memes, and heated debates flooded every corner of the internet. Some people cheered Bruce on for saying what they'd been thinking, while others scrambled to defend Trump. One thing was clear: Springsteen struck a nerve, and the aftershocks aren't slowing down anytime soon.
So Bruce Springsteen recently made this statement, saying Donald Trump didn't deliver on the factories or the jobs returning from overseas or much else for our working class. The only thing he delivered on was resentment, division, and the talent for getting our countrymen at each other's throats. He made good on that, and that is how he thrives. And Trump supporters were not happy about it. With a bunch of comments echoing this sentiment, that he's irrelevant and he just takes money from the DNZ to sell out America. And once again, I just ask myself, do Republicans not listen to the lyrics of songs? So behind me are some of the lyrics of Born in the USA, one of Bruce Springsteen's most famous songs. Born down in a dead man's town, the first kick I took was when I hit the ground. End up like a dog that's been beat too much till you spend half your life just covering up. Born in the USA is not a love song to America. It is directly pointing out so many.
Trump didn't take Springsteen's words well, because let's be real, if there's one thing he can't stand, it's being criticized by someone with real credibility. And right on cue, the all-caps Twitter meltdown began. Within hours, Trump was furiously typing away, calling Springsteen a washed-up, no-talent loser who's only relevant because of the liberal media. Classic Trump, insulting a guy with 5 decades of success and a pile of Grammys. But he didn't stop there. Trump ranted that Springsteen should stick to music and stay out of politics, which is pretty ironic coming from a former reality TV host who turned politics into a spectacle. And then somehow Melania got dragged into it. Springsteen never even mentioned her, but that didn't stop Trump from making it personal. Insiders say he was fuming over the fact that Bruce, an American icon, was being praised while his own wife, who famously got an Einstein visa with no known groundbreaking achievements, was still a topic of scrutiny. In true Trump fashion, he hinted that Springsteen wasn't a real patriot, while his diehard supporters tried pushing the bizarre idea that Melania was somehow more American than the boss himself.
But if you've struggled and if you've suffered and you haven't gotten that piece of the pie, or you're just struggling to keep your family going, it can be someone saying there's a very, very compelling argument. It's very difficult to deal with the complexities of governance and have someone tell you to wait or be patient. It's just a rich environment for unfortunately, for a demagogue, and the absurdity is beyond cartoon-like, you know. But he's gotten close enough so it can make you nervous. You know, I don't think he's going to win, but even him running is a great embarrassment for if you're an American.
Trump's supporters immediately went into full-blown outrage mode, calling for a boycott of Springsteen's music. Social media lit up with MAGA loyalists vowing to cancel the boss, as if a few angry tweets could erase decades of iconic music. But here's the reality: Springsteen's fan base isn't exactly the kind to back down over internet drama. His songs have been anthems for generations, playing everywhere from dive bars to sold-out stadiums. A trending hashtag isn't about to change that. As for Trump, letting things go has never been his strong suit. If there's one thing he can't stand, it's being called out by someone with actual cultural influence. And sure enough, the internet wasted no time turning his fury into a joke. Within minutes, Born in the USA was trending, not as a patriotic tribute, but as the ultimate roast of Trump's entire political legacy. Memes, parodies, and brutal commentary flooded the timeline, turning Springsteen's words into yet another viral moment that Trump definitely didn't want.
Donald Trump is running to be an American tyrant. He does not understand this country. It's
Social media exploded with people twisting Springsteen's lyrics into savage jabs at Trump. One viral meme showed a dejected Trump with the caption, "I had a job, I had a girl, then I ran for president and lost them both." Another slapped Bruce's lyrics over Trump's all-caps meltdown, reading, "You can't start a fire," sitting around crying about Bruce. And the videos? Pure internet gold. Clips of Trump's awkward rally dancing were re-edited to Dancing in the Dark, but with the words "dancing in a tantrum" flashing across the screen. Another genius edit mashed up Trump's endless fake news rants with glory days, making it seem like he was wistfully reminiscing about his time in the White House. Celebrities jumped into the chaos too. Mark Ruffalo tweeted, "Bruce Springsteen speaks for America." Trump tweets for his ego. Bette Midler couldn't resist, posting, "Trump trying to cancel Springsteen is like an ant trying to cancel a hurricane." Even politicians picked sides. Democrats praised Bruce, while Trump's hardcore supporters, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, rushed to his defense, calling the boss just another out-of-touch liberal. And Springsteen? He didn't have to say a word. The internet was doing all the roasting for him, and the memes just kept rolling in. Trump might have thought he could go head-to-head with the boss, but all he really did was hand the internet enough comedy fuel to keep roasting him for weeks.
he's such a flagrant, toxic narcissist that he wants to take down the entire democratic system with him if he goes.
And I didn't need little Bruce Springsteen and all of
This isn't just another celebrity taking shots at a politician. It's part of a long tradition of musicians standing up to those in power. From Bob Dylan to Rage Against the Machine, artists have always used their platforms to call out corruption and injustice. Springsteen is no different. His music tells the stories of everyday Americans, the struggles they face, and the dreams they chase, something Trump claims to understand despite living in a penthouse coated in gold. But here's why this moment matters. Cultural icons like Springsteen cut through the noise in a way politicians never can. When a candidate speaks, it's just another stump speech. But when an artist like Bruce calls someone out, it resonates. His words don't sound scripted or rehearsed. They sound real. And that's exactly why Trump can't stand it. So what happens now? Will Trump keep spiraling into an ego-fueled meltdown? Or will Springsteen drop another truth bomb that hits even harder? One thing is for sure. Bruce isn't the type to back down. And Trump? Well, he's never been one to let an insult slide. This feud is far from over. If you like this breakdown, be sure to subscribe. There's plenty more where this came from.